that she doesn't know me.
And you're saying as a young girl, you would be picked up and you would do things with Miss Stapleton? As if,
Yes.
As if you were sisters?
Yes.
What's paternity court without DNA test results that leave everyone in shock? Those two literally go hand in hand. The crazy thing is that these DNA results always leave the parents in tears, especially when they've built a bond with the child. These are moments when families were left in tears. Ms. Young and her daughter are in court to prove that their deceased common-law husband, Johnny Wallace, did not cheat on her with Ms. Terrell and father her daughter, Ms. Patton. She says that once the results prove that he is not Ms. Patton's father, she will sue to recoup all of the Social Security benefits from Ms. Patton that she wrongfully received after Mr. Wallace passed away. This is how the case begins.
Ms. Young, you and your daughter are here in court today to prove that your deceased common-law husband, Johnny Wallace, did not cheat on you with Ms. Terrell and father her daughter, Ms. Patton.
Yes, Your Honor.
This is not going to be an easy case. Both parties seem ready to fight to the end. Ms. Terrell claims that Mr. Wallace never denied her daughter, but she chose to separate her daughter from Mr. Wallace's crazy lifestyle, and that's why it seems like he never accepted her daughter.
All I know is that I've known him since I was a teenager. We lived together. He's my daughter's father. And I never knew Kaisha being his daughter, and still don't till this day.
That must have caught her out of the blue. Ms. Young explains to the judge that the first time she heard about Ms. Terrell's daughter was when her kids were getting Social Security numbers, and she got a letter stating that Ms. Terrell's daughter was also applying to get her Social Security number under her late husband, Mr. Wallace.
Me and Mr. Wallace was going with each other. We was together every day. We would go out.
Did you know he was in a relationship with Ms. Young?
Well, he had other baby mamas. He was around with all of them.
So, Ms. Patton, what was your relationship like with your alleged father, Mr. Wallace?
Wow, the truth bombs just keep on coming. Ms. Terrell says that Mr. Wallace was with a lot of women while he was still alive. Her daughter then goes on to say that she never had a relationship with Mr. Wallace, and all her life she only had one conversation with him. Looks like he was not a part of her life at all.
I was about 8, 9.
And so you sat there.
He came in the kitchen, he looked at me, and then he talked to my grandmother, and then he came back to me and he said, "Hey, little girl." I said, "Hey." He said, "You know who I am?" And I said, I guess.
That has to be the weirdest daddy-daughter conversation I have ever heard. Ms. Terrell's daughter breaks down the one and only conversation she had with Mr. Wallace while he was alive, and I just tell you, even little kids have more words come out of their mouths than what she and Mr. Wallace had.
Did you ever hear about Miss Patton?
Yes.
You did?
Yes.
What did you hear?
One day, Mom said, "You know Kaisha's supposed to be your sister." And I was like, "Yeah, right." Thought she was playing. She was like, "No, for real."
Seems like everyone has a totally different story to tell. Ms. Young's daughter tells the judge that she and her father had a conversation about Ms. Terrell's daughter, and he told her that she was not her sister, regardless of whatever she heard. After that, they never spoke about Ms. Terrell's daughter again.
I was tormented by them.
How?
Well, he say your daddy, but we don't know. Or my thing is, at 35, I'm still living 10 years old, 12 years old.
Ms. Terrell's daughter has one hell of a memory to be able to remember all of this. She says that she can remember way back when she was little that she and Ms. Young's daughter would play together like they were sisters, and the whole thing got very confusing when they started to grow up.
After Mom told me that she was supposed to be my sister, my daddy told me she wasn't my sister, it was just like I made up in my mind that, I wanted to play with her anyway. I wanted to, be friends with her. I like.
Well, that further complicates things. Ms. Terrell tells the judge that her daughter's birth certificate does not have Mr. Wallace's name signed as her father. Ms. Young's daughter says that she always believed Ms. Terrell's daughter to be her sister, but now that they are in court and there are so many secrets coming out, she doesn't know what to believe.
Is anybody on the birth certificate?
No.
As listed as father?
No.
So, Mr. Wallace, was he aware when you were pregnant with Miss Patton that this was his child?
He was aware. I was a virgin when I first met Johnny Wallace. Me and him used to hang out.
Easy now, Ms. Young. We don't want you beating up anyone in the courtroom. Ms. Young says that she remembers her husband, Mr. Wallace, giving her some money to have an abortion, but she refused to follow through with it. Like the judge said, doesn't it mean he did in fact sleep with Ms. Terrell?
We don't know exactly what was said, but it, of course, to me, seems interesting. He's not on your birth certificate. There is question amongst the family as to whether or not you are or are not his biological child.
Phew, if only Mr. Wallace were alive to sort out the mess he created. Ms. Young is upset that Ms. Terrell and her daughter were enlisted as beneficiaries when Mr. Wallace died. But then again, if there was no type of relationship between them and Mr. Wallace, there's no way they would have gotten those benefits.
She talking about
Ladies.
Miss Young,
Yes, ma'am.
Please.
You need to calm down.
Miss Young claimed she never knew about me. I was never accepted. I got on a flight to Savannah, Georgia with Miss Stapleton.
At this point, I don't think there's any way forward aside from the results. We've seen both parties come at each other, and it's ended in only fights. The results are in. Let's finally help them put an end to their endless worry and doubt, shall we?
Miss Patton and Miss Stapleton, you are not related.
Already knew it.
Miss Stapleton, are you okay? I see you.
Mr. White has summoned Ms. Loving to court to prove that he did not father her 5-month-old daughter, Loyal. He has brought a witness to court who believes that he is the father of the child. Ms. Loving, on the other hand, says that she admits that Mr. White wasn't the only sexual relationship, but is certain that Mr. White is the father of her daughter. Well, this is how the case begins.
Mr. White, you have summoned Ms. Loving to court to prove you did not father her 5-month-old daughter, Loyal.
Yes.
You've brought a witness to court today who believes he is the baby's father.
Correct.
Let's just say they both had different ideas of what their relationship was. Mr. White says that he has known Ms. Loving for 4 years, and they've been very good friends for about that long. They had sex, but it was never a romantic relationship. Ms. Loving then says she did everything with him and wonders why he never saw her as his girlfriend.
Are you using protection?
No, ma'am.
So you're sleeping with a girl
with no
unprotected
protection,
that's
but
not
your girl.
girlfriend.
Correct.
Okay.
Wow.
Correct.
I don't know what.
So take me to this point where you realize she's pregnant. How do you find out?
If I can recall, I was at work, Your Honor, and then she had told me she was pregnant.
Hearing Mr. White and Ms. Loving's situation really shows how complicated relationships can become when communication breaks down. So many couples out there watching right now can probably relate, facing confusion, mistrust, and arguments that seem impossible to solve. If this sounds familiar, your relationship might be on the verge of collapsing without you even realizing it. That's exactly why I always recommend Mend the Marriage by renowned relationship expert Brad Browning. This powerful step-by-step program helps couples immediately stop arguments, rebuild trust, and reconnect emotionally. Don't wait until it's too late. Scan the QR code on your screen or click the link in the description below to start repairing your relationship today. Your happiness is worth fighting for. Mr. White says that Ms. Loving called him while he was at work and told him that she was pregnant. He went over to her place to see how she was doing and confirm if she was really pregnant. Ms. Loving told him that he was the only possible father, but he did not believe her when she said so. All he did was give her the benefit of the doubt.
The day she gave birth, Your Honor,
You went to the
I
hospital.
went up there. Before I went up there, I got a DNA test, Your Honor. Left the DNA test in the car because I ain't want to bring it up there because I ain't know who was up there. You feel what I'm saying? I ain't want to be rude because it was going to be in my
That was
hand.
rude anyways, Will, for you to even do that. That was inconsiderate. I just had birth.
How can it
I think we can understand why they remained friends and they got into a relationship. Man, they yell and argue about almost anything. Mr. White is mad at the fact that she did not come clean about the child having another possible father. Ms. Loving then tells him that she eventually did come clean and that should count as something.
Looking at the baby trying to see what's going on.
And when you looked at the baby, did you feel like it was your
No,
child?
ma'am. She beautiful though, but no, ma'am, I didn't.
Okay. And so then did you ever ask Ms. Loving, I want to do this DNA test, I have it in the car?
I said, I got the DNA test in the car, you know what I'm saying? Y'all still want me to go get it? Ms. Brenda was like, yeah.
Wow, Mr. White's doubts had to be very strong for him to want to do something like that. Apparently, he brought in a DNA test kit to check if the baby belonged to him after Ms. Loving had just given birth. He says he wanted to be respectful because he did not know who was in there, so he decided not to follow through with his plan.
What is your understanding?
Well, my understanding, I've always believed that Mr. White
was my granddaughter's father. I know Mr. White and my daughter, I believe they were in a relationship because they were always together.
That's one side of a coin. Ms. Loving's mother tells the judge that she has always believed that Mr. White was the father of her granddaughter because he used to talk to Ms. Loving a lot and they were always in each other's company. Aside from that, he is a very good and well-mannered gentleman.
To a recovery center when I found out I was first pregnant because I decided that I didn't want to have my baby. So basically this is the center that basically helps you cope with the situation, but instead they gave me a conception date and they talked me into keeping my baby because they gave me an ultrasound. I heard her heartbeat and I couldn't do it anymore.
Another truth bomb hits the floor of the courtroom. Ms. Loving tells the judge that she had 2 conception dates. The first one indicated that Mr. White was the possible father of her child, while the second one revealed that the other man she slept with could be the possible father. Phew, what a mess.
All right, you have doubt as well?
I do. For one, Your Honor, my family has 6 fingers. My grandmother had it, he had it, my other son had it, and my other son's son had it. And to me, she don't look like my son. I mean, she's beautiful. You know what I'm saying? She's beautiful.
Yes,
and
she is.
everything. Yeah. My son right here, the only reason why he took the DNA there, Your Honor,
I like his mom already. Mr. White's mother takes the stand and says that she doesn't believe the child belongs to her son. She says that she just wants to know if the baby belongs to their family so they can do the right thing and allow another man to take care of their own. Plus, she is right. If you, Ms. Loving, believed that baby belonged to Mr. White, why did you not allow him to take the DNA test?
You realize we're talking about the paternity as it relates to 5-month-old baby Loyal?
Yes, ma'am.
You have had a sexual relationship with Ms. Loving, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Do you believe you're Loyal's biological father?
I do.
You do?
Yeah.
Phew, the surprises just don't end in this case. Mr. White brings in another witness, and the witness says that he believes he is the father of the child. The dude walks in, and apparently it's the other man Ms. Loving slept with. He says he believes he is the father of the child because he was in a relationship with Ms. Loving at a point in time.
Which lines up with your testimony, Ms. Loving, because you say the first conception date clearly pointed to Mr. White, but then when you went to the doctor later on, it established that there was potentially Mr. Talbert as another possible father.
Seems like the other guy also has doubts about being the father of the child. Well, the results have been prepared, and now we want to find out which one of both men is the father of Ms. Loving's daughter. Here are the DNA results.
Loyal's biological father is Mr. Talbert. Congratulations, sir.
Appreciate it.
Are you glad to know the truth?
I am.
Ms. Graves claims that her marriage is about to take a nosedive, and there's a high chance her husband is going to leave her. She wants to prove that her husband is the father of her 19-year-old daughter. Her husband, Mr. Baker, says that she told him that 2 men could possibly be her daughter's father, and that's why he doubts the paternity. The case starts like this.
Graves, you state your marriage is on the rocks and on the brink of divorce.
Yes, ma'am.
You're suing your husband, Mr. Baker, for a paternity test to prove that he's your 19-year-old daughter, Vanisha's biological father.
If she's staying off like that, then her marriage must be in some serious mess. She says that her husband is not acting like the man he should be, and it's almost as if she does not feel his presence in the house.
You're saying 22 years ago you had a daughter.
Yes, ma'am.
And for a year he thought it was his biological daughter.
Yes.
But you were honest that it may or may not be. Ultimately, you had a DNA test and it was determined that in fact he was not the biological father of your older daughter.
Yes, ma'am.
Unbelievable. Is she actually being upset? Wow, what a woman. Apparently this isn't the first situation. Ms. Graves had a child for another man, and after her husband took care of the child for a year, he found out that he was not the father. It's no surprise he has doubts about this one.
Sir, I mean, he's rude.
Mr. Baker, why are you cursing a 19-year-old girl? What is this behavior?
I mean, verbal words come out due to the fact that, you know, hey, she felt like I hurt her. So,
Well, he does me the same
So
way.
what I'm
That's
trying to
the problem.
understand is, Ms. Graves, you believe this treatment, the way that he interacts with your daughter is based upon his doubt.
There's no lie there. She is right. Yes, she might have been out of line for cheating on him, but he has no right to curse at her kids. They are children, for crying out loud. His claiming not to know how to love has to be the worst excuse I have ever heard.
And you have always told him he's Vanisha's father.
Well, when she was 5,
I mean, I made
went to
mistakes,
him.
though.
I went to him to his mother's house, and I said, Michael, I seen some resemblance.
Damn, I'm still trying to understand how these guys even got together to make a baby when they can't agree on anything in the courtroom. Well, it sure looks like their trust issues have been there way before their daughter came into the world.
What about when she was 10?
When she was 10,
and we were together, and she was calling you daddy.
You told me that she was my father. I mean, I
No,
was her father.
you told me
You
that
told
she
me
looked like you.
Okay,
with similarities.
I said that.
Okay.
I know I said
Okay,
that,
then.
but I didn't
So
say,
he
did
been
you say
knowing
that I was her father?
Since she walked into the courtroom, all Ms. Graves has been doing is spitting facts. From the looks of it, her husband is just giving every excuse to justify his doubt. What's sad is the fact that the little girl has to see both of them yell at each other all because they made stupid mistakes.
He doesn't even know how to treat me with that. He's not compassionate. He cussed me out. You know, I'm doing chemo, and right before I do the chemo, we're arguing, and my blood pressure shot through the roof.
Please spell it out to him because he doesn't seem to understand at all. Ms. Graves has a very serious medical condition, and all he is worried about is the fact that the child might not be his. Does he not at least care about his wife's health? Jeez.
Like I say, it's not just me, it's 2 other guys, you know, and the timing, yeah, you might say that we were here and there, but at the same time, the timing, it could match up and it could not match up.
The 2 other men, how did you find out about these?
I mean, she told me about them.
Phew! The surprises in this case just never end. Apparently, Ms. Graves told Mr. Baker that there are 2 other men who could be the father of her daughter. If that's the case, how then does she know that Mr. Baker truly is the father of her child?
Talk me through this. Vanisha's birth date is what?
July 28, 95.
So when you put in her birth date, July 28, 1995, and you press calculate,
yes, ma'am,
it gave you dates of conception of October 31st through November 8th, 1994, meaning that was during the time of Halloween,
yes,
where you were intimate with Mr. Baker.
I was honest.
Man, it still doesn't make any sense if we're being honest. She slept with the other men at the same time she slept with Mr. Baker, and it all happened during the window of conception. At this point, I think only the results can help us solve this case. Let's see what they have to say.
In the case of Gray Carroll versus Baker, when it comes to 19-year-old Vanisha Carroll, Mr. Baker, you are not her father.
You're my daughter no matter what. Okay, I'm sorry.
Mrs. Moon-Merrifield says that her family is in the process of being torn apart. She brings her husband to court to prove to him that he is the father of her 20-month-old son. Her husband, Mr. Merrifield, says that he believes that she cheated on him and has been lying to him that he is the father of her son. This is how the case begins.
Mrs. Moon-Merrifield, you say your family is in jeopardy of being torn apart.
Yes, Your Honor.
You've dragged your husband, Mr. Merrifield, to Paternity Court to prove that he fathered your 20-month-old son, Cain.
Yes.
At least we know she is still in love with her husband. She says that her husband should know her better. They've made mistakes and they aren't perfect, but she has never gone out of their marriage to be with any man.
You have the divorce papers already
filled
out. They're just, what, awaiting execution?
I need to find out the answer if this is my child or not.
He always results to that. Anytime we have a fight or an argument or whatever, it's always divorce. It's never work it out, let's talk, whatever. He always throws up divorce in my face like I'm supposed to just melt to my feet. You know, like people have been through worse than what we've been through.
His already feeling the divorce papers is crazy. Mr. Merrifield is honestly ready to walk out of the marriage if it turns out that he is not the father of the child. Mrs. Moon-Merrifield says that every time they fight, he always threatens her with a divorce.
Phil, the reason why we're here in the first place, man, I caught her texting some dude that supposedly was supposed to be her ex-boyfriend that was right before my 2 sons was born.
Yeah,
whatever.
he did.
I've seen some Facebook messages from these guys, this person before. Well, it was somebody else.
But it's okay when he does it.
No,
he lets his imagination, his mind go off, oh, well, if you said this, then it's probably this and this.
It looks like we have another insecure man who can't control his imagination. Mrs. Moon-Merrifield says that he is still friends with people he has slept with, and they comment on his Facebook. But anytime she texts anyone, he makes a big deal out of the situation.
And you say, are you messing with my wife?
Yes.
And he says, hey bro, don't nobody want your wife. I'm far from it. I'm not about to be arguing with you. You need to be with your wife instead of acting like a clown.
She does seem to be telling the truth, but this won't be the first time a lady would walk into the courtroom and act this way only for the child to have a different father. But let's give her the benefit of the doubt. For now, she says she didn't sleep with the guy who she's always texting and calling.
So we was together, the first 3 years was good, all the way up until 18. Once we turned 18, she started saying, I was her first boyfriend, first everything, so she wants to experience, other men and other things. So I'm like, okay, I have to deal with that. She'll break up with me for a weekend, go do whatever she want to do and come back and want to be back together on a Wednesday.
That's a
you know
lie.
what I'm saying?
It still seems to me like Mr. Merrifield is a very insecure man. If you ask me, I'd say that these two have always had trust issues from the very start. They don't seem to trust each other, and that's why they are in this mess for real.
3 different dudes. 3 of them she already slept with and she loves. There's her love. One of them is the love of her life. You know what I'm saying? Who she's in love with. If she's texting these guys that they love each other. If she's texting these guys that they love each other, she's supposed to change her number. She changed her number, then she starts emailing, I love you to him. And then I catch the email.
You're exaggerating.
I find the email, then then from the email, she makes a fake app.
Damn, how did these two even get married? It's like every statement that pops out of their mouth is a motion to begin an argument. Trust me, they are going to get on Judge Lauren's nerves, and she is not going to take it easy on them. 16 years of being together should not look like this.
Do you have proof that your wife was intimate with anyone else during that time
Besides
as well?
the text messages, no. But her ex-boyfriend, the one who I think might be the dad, she was talking to his mother and sent her a picture of his 1-year-old son around the same age as my son.
Why do you think she sent the picture?
So she could compare.
So you think her ex is the father and that's why she sent the picture?
That's the possibility.
That's just it. There's honestly no proof to back up any of his doubts. He says that he sees her texting this person and texting that person, but he has never really caught her in the act with anyone. Could all this be in his head?
Know about this situation. Mr. Merrifield has stated that the reason why his wife says she's even with him is because it's your fault, because you took him in and she had no one else to date and now she's caught in this.
Talk about a mother who's standing on business. Mrs. Moon-Merrifield's mother is not here to joke around. She says that she's on both their sides, but sometimes they just act out of line and she has to put them in check. Sounds like a pretty good mom to me.
Being with my son. I had no time to go nowhere else. I'm not that type of person. I'm not that type of woman.
So Mr. Merrifield, why is it you have so much doubt? I know the text messages, but when she became pregnant, and she told you.
There's no argument about that. Every child he has can't have his eyes. It just doesn't work that way all the time. Honestly, I think we've heard enough of their yapping. It's time we see what the results have to say about the situation.
Mr. Merrifield, you are Kane's father.
Apologies, Devontae.
Well, Brittany, I apologize for...
Ms. Foster has asked the court to provide a DNA test so she can prove that the defendant, Mr. Fields, fathered her 17-month-old daughter, who was born with extreme medical conditions. All she wants is for him to step up. Mr. Fields, on the other hand, says that she was pregnant before they met, and he has proof. Well, here is how it started.
That the defendant fathered your 17-month-old daughter, Sienna, a beautiful little girl born with extreme medical needs. You've dragged him to court to order he pay the support he's been neglecting. Mr. Fields, you say you're 100% certain that you are not her child's father because she was pregnant before you met.
Yes, sure.
You claim to have proof.
And all he got were 3 onesies and 2 pairs of socks? Lord God, what is wrong with Mr. Fields? I mean, even if he doubts that he is the father of the child, doesn't he care that the baby has extreme medical conditions that need money? How heartless can he be?
What happened the first night?
She came to my house, you understand? She had bought some new shorts. I was trying to be respectable and I asked her, do you want to go in the bathroom?
Ha ha ha. Even Judge Lauren is speechless. Mr. Fields makes a shocking confession. He says that the first night they hooked up, they had sex like it was a normal thing. When they were done, her mom came and picked her up. Let's not forget the fact that she told him she was a virgin. That's just wild.
He said that you were saying you were a virgin at that time. Were you?
I was practically, before him, there was some
What's
other guy.
practically?
There was
How
some
can you
other
be
guy.
practically a virgin?
There was some other guy
That's
before him, and I
impossible.
don't count that as a partner.
I mean, who has? There is no such thing as being practically a virgin. Either you are one or you aren't one. Ms. Foster is the only one who knows what she means when she says she's practically a virgin. Oh well, the summary is that she was not a virgin when she slept with Mr. Fields.
Was texting your brother and your mother trying to get your phone number. I'm asking you, why is this out of the ordinary if she believes you're her child father? Of course she would try to get in touch with you. You think she's trying to get in touch with you because she wants to be with you?
No. Listen, I'm married.
Judge Lauren's face is honestly making me speechless right now. She's so confused. It's like she's looking at two kids who are fighting over who gets the bigger portion of lunch. Except the sad case is there's a baby in question, and the baby needs its father.
A Facebook
message that says, I still have love for you that will never change. I wish we would have had a longer relationship. Even with my girlfriend now, our relationship not going to last long.
Listen, I haven't had
This
a Facebook.
is from Mr.
I
Fields?
have not had a
Yes, it
Facebook
is.
in 6 months.
Yes.
Let's just agree with her. She does sound pretty confident, though. Anyway, Ms. Foster drops evidence that says that Mr. Fields told her that his current relationship wasn't going to last and he wishes they could have a future together. As you would expect, he denies it.
So, Mr. Fields, you came to the hospital for the birth, and why was that if you didn't think the child was yours?
Because of the medical condition that the baby was in, you know, I didn't want to just up and leave.
He was there through the whole pregnancy, basically, and except a month. And I just feel like if you were there and you thought of denial of if I was already pregnant or whatever, then why were you there through the whole time? Why did you come into my home?
Someone who doesn't think he could be a father wouldn't do all that. Ms. Foster says that Mr. Fields was there for everything. He stood by her side when the baby was born and even went to see her when she was in her mother's house. He claims that he did all of that because of the baby's medical condition. I honestly doubt that.
Family
His
meetings.
family got into
My
his
mom
head.
was in Texas.
Me and his mother actually had a good relationship. So I honestly don't know what happened. Towards the end, I'm not gonna lie, I was really rude to Jaquel during my pregnancy because I was underneath a lot of stress.
Oh, he did not just say that to Ms. Foster. She lost her twins, and he thinks the right thing to say is suck it up and get over it with a smile on his face. That is just evil. I'm sure Judge Lauren is going to give me a lashing for that statement.
Your little cavalier. Hold on. This cavalier, I don't care, everything's a shrug of the shoulders, nothing matters to me. When we're sitting here talking about a child that literally is fighting for her life to have a healthy life.
It looks like I was right. Judge Lauren was pissed, and she did not spare him one bit. It's insane that he would even say something like that knowing Ms. Foster's situation. It's time for the results. Mr. Fields better pray he is not the father of the baby.
Mr. Fields, you are her father.
Can I hold her?
I want you to hold your daughter, and I want you to help take care of your daughter.